pretty much every single one of Caitlin's games early on because I am a fan. I do like good basketball. And of course, I wanted to see how she would do. Coming out of college and going into the WNBA, we as WNBA players were having basketball conversations, and everybody just took it to another place where we were attacking them.
Terbanker Kepida WNBA Dengan Kara Yang Tidak Diantisipasai, Mengunkapkan Renkana Rahasia Marika Untuk Meninkerkan Caitlin Clark Dari. Sungut Awal, Seline Itu, Ini Bukan Situasi Yang Mengakabatkan Pangailan Telepon Yang Tidak Menyanankan. This was a completely planned circus. Clark Tidak akan bisa bertahan dengan kekakan ini karena kesalahan teknik, unsur ras, dan tujuan yang jelas. It was a plan designed by those who couldn't tolerate her getting the attention.
And it actually, we talked about this before, like the fan that went hard at Caitlin at the Connecticut Sun game in game 1 or 2, I can't remember, where there was an interaction where the fan almost got ejected. It's like, none of this is okay, and we never accept it. We never accept this on the men's side.
Karina jealousy dan drama adalah siri cause WNBA, Engelbert dan tim referinya tahu persis apa yang mereka lakukan. New playbook. Why support a rising star when you can dump her for a bit more controversy? Dalam penjualan ticket, bukan, terima kasih, su, laundry kotor tela dikeluarkan, dan itu terlihat buruk.
Is it okay in our league? Why is it, welcome to mainstream?
Selain itu, anda dapat yakin bahwa su tidak menunjukkan simpati yang mendalam dan tulus kepada Caitlin Clark kepada WNBA. Let's not be kids. It was a mistake, a huge, unintentional mistake. But hey, who is complaining? Kami memiliki detail yang menarik yang selalu kami duga ada di bawah lapisan. Sekarang semua menjadi jelas. Khususnya terkait dengan komentar bird yang bilam lama ini yang tidak terlalu halus, yang sejujurnya hanya menambah ketidakjelasan. On the record-breaking rookie season of Caitlin Clark, anda tahu sudah di mana dia benar-benar merusak liga dengan statistik. Yang kebanyakan players tidak dapat membayangkan dalam fantasi mereka yang paling gila?
It was coming. This wasn't a surprise. And not just the comments that the commissioner made a few weeks ago, where she basically implied that the racial tension is good for business and invoking magic and bird.
Naman, su, dalam podcastnya, memalai untuk menganggapnya tidak significant, dia menyebut kemenangan liga. Usaha collective, sure, su, teamwork makes the dream job and all that jazz. Naman, maju, jangan berperilaku seperti Clark tidak hanya. Satu-satunya cara untuk membawa WNBA kuperhatian public untuk fenomena baru.
Ratings, high attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized.
Selain itu, kritikus sipat menyerap suasana. Was Bird simply philosophical, or was she just taking a low-key swipe? Pada Clark, Karina itu jelas terdengar seperti upaya untuk menyerang parade orang yang mengalami kesalahan. Record left and right and steal the attention without sweating.
Not good for business is never good for business. And sort of sidestep the question about racism and misogyny and hate that the players are receiving online, basically saying like, don't go on social media, or, it's sort of not real.
Dan kemudian ada suara kesal yang mengatakan bahwa ini mungkin bukan hanya komentar bodoh. Is it anger or discomfort? Mungkin itu hanya cinta veteran yang keras, atau mungkin itu sedikit lebih pribadi bagaimanapun, munculnya Clark telah terjadi dengan sipat, bukan dengan cara yang acuhlus. In 1 year, she has achieved what? Dalam 10 tahun, beberapa players tidak pernah mencapainya. Selain itu, untuk seorang yang telah bertahan sepanjang waktu seperti Bird, lihat seorang pemula mengambil semua perhatian bisa sedikit sakit. Namun, inilah tempatnya menjadi benar-benar spicy. The bigger question is not just about Bird's remarks, it is about the leadership of the WNBA. Sendiri bekerja dengan tenang untuk mencegah Clark terlalu terang mungkin sebuah teori konspirasi, tetapi mari kita bicara tentang fakta. Seperti fakta bahwa Caitlin Clark, seorang rookie satu generasi, menerima penghargaan Rookie of the Year. News on a phone call while in practice.
Obviously, not every, they're humans, looking at technology, basketball is a little more complex than tennis, for instance, around technology of officiating. So we're looking at a variety of different dimensions.
Sebelum pertandingan playoff di Connecticut tidak ada promosi atau perayaan, hanya ucapan selamat dari telepon seperti yang dia lakukan. Informed her dry cleaning was completed. If that doesn't sound like a scream, we don't want to make you a big deal out of it. I don't know what does. Comedian Ada Pengakaran.
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard, and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball.
Oh, Perwakelin, recall the time Clark received a technical foul for slightly hitting the backboard in exasperation following. Ada yang hilang, intinya, pengadil menyebutnya tidak berhormat terhadap pertandingan apa benar, selama itu, veteran seperti Diana Taurasi Tella. Menjadi lebih buruk dan hampir tidak mendapat perhatian dari referensi.
Anthony Carter nearly picks off the pass, and Diana Taurasi, they'll count the bucket.
Standard sangat terlihat, dan mungkin ada neon light di sekitarnya, sepertinya mereka memiliki satu buku panduan untuk Clark dan satu lagi untuk semua orang lainnya.
Coming out of college and going into the WNBA, we as WNBA players were having basketball conversations, and everybody just took it to another place where we were attacking them as people.
Meningkatkan rating TV, dia adalah semua hal yang sangat dibutuhkan oleh liga. Namun, tampaknya sering berjalannya waktu, tanda-tanda terus meningkat, menciptakan gambar yang tidak hanya mensenggangkan tetapi juga mensenggangkan. WNBA berusaha untuk mempertahankan Clark? Berhati-hati, khawatir bahwa kesempatannya yang sifat dapat mengabaikan kisah pertumbuhan kolektif yang dibuat dengan hati-hati? Jika itu benar, itu adalah keputusan yang aneh karena itu merugikan diri sendiri. Clark tidak merupakan ancaman bagi liga, sebaliknya, dia adalah aset terbesar liga. Dengan mendapatkan banyak penggemar baru, meningkatkan penjualan tiket, danya mereka ragu dan hampir takut untuk melepaskan shownya.
And that's again where that petty and jealousy.
Namun, inilah yang menjadi masalah. Caitlin Clark adalah bagian dari cerita WNBA. Tanpanya, League tidak akan menikmati tingkat kejemberan saat ini jadi, meskipun pimpinan mungkin merasa mereka melindungi mereka, sebenarnya mereka sedang menyerang diri mereka sendiri. Pemain adalah mereka, tanpa mereka, liga, penonton, dan masa depan tidak ada. The muted announcement of the Rookie of the Year, the questionable officiating, and Sue Bird's dismissive comments combine to create a message that is as clear as it is frustrating. Hentikan kesempatan, Caitlin. Jangan merusak kapal. Namun, inilah kebenaran yang harus mereka hadapi. Caitlin Clark bukan hanya merusak kapal. Dia adalah kapal itu sendiri. Whether they like it or not, she's taking the league to new heights, and if they don't figure out how to embrace that, they'll end up there.
There is one thing I want to reset, that we want to reset, and it's the language being used around fans. Fever fans, Caitlin fans, new fans. That actually has to go. That has to go. I understand why at times it's been used. It's kind of just when you're in an interview and you get asked a question, it's kind of easy to go, oh, the FIFA fan base.
Yeah, what do you mean by that? That has to go.
Oh, these new fans. It has to go because it's not the FIFA fans. It's not Caitlin.
Commissioner WNBA Kathy Engelbert sangat mahir dalam menkamper bumbu. Dan tidak dengan cara yang baik. Her manner of leadership is reminiscent of a rude relative who always utters ridiculous remarks at family gatherings. Kanto, she saw rivalries as the league's golden ticket to relevance. With how she framed Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese as the next big thing in basketball rivalries as the most glaring and disastrous example, Pertimbankan Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird, Tetapi Jangan Ganakanya.
And when you have that, you have a lot of attention on you. There's no more apathy. Everybody cares. It is a little that Bird Magic moment, if you recall, from 1979 when those two rookies came in from a big college rival.
Dalam wawankara CNBC Power Lunch, Engelbert dengan tigas menyatakan bahwa Clark berwarna putih dan Reese berwarna hitam, dan itu membuat olahraga menarik, bukan. She hit the wrong nerve if her goal was nostalgia. Sebaliknya, she received a storm of criticism for using racial dynamics as a marketing gimmick. Kita harus memeka ini. Engelbert's effort to stir up excitement didn't just fail, itu meledak. She was immediately ridiculed by fans and analysts for reducing two exceptionally talented players to their skin colors instead of applauding their talent. Selain itu, inilah yang menarik, baik Clark maupun Reese telah menghadapi ancaman racial yang menyedihkan melalui internet dan pada.
One white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another. It's a balance, but certainly from a marketing dollars, but corporate partners are stepping up to endorse these players much more so than they were 5 years.
Do you think it would be worthwhile to address that? Tenta Saja Tidak Sebaliknya, Dia Hampir Membakar API, Memperburak Keaton Kejua Pemain, Karina Menggunakan Konflik Ras Sebagai Sarana Promosai Tidak Minarik Bagi Pemimpin Progresif, Buchan. Critic Munkle Dengan Sipat Seperti Tiga Poin Clark, Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe did not mince words on their podcast, A Touch More. Rapinoe Masak ku dalam Engelbert dan Menyuda dia memprioritaskan promosai sipat daripada kesehatan mental dan keselamatan. Pemain Rapinoe menyimpulkan bahwa dia secara dasar mengatakan bahwa ketegangan rasial bermanfaat bagi bisnis, menggambarkan apa yang sudah dipikirkan semua orang. Bird juga berkomentar, menyatakan bahwa para pemimpin tampaknya lebih tertarik pada membuat berita daripada menyelesaikan masalah nyata. Seperti yang dihadapi oleh pemain lingkungan yang agresif setiap hari, itu jenis hal yang benar-benar penting, seperti yang anda ketahui.
WNBA's perspective. The WNBA in the league office and in Kathy's role specifically is basically to protect and shepherd the league, both from a business perspective, from a player welfare perspective, from a health and safety perspective, and from a growth and investment perspective. And this is where I feel like
Selain itu, Jangan lupa tentang pencapayan terbesar Engelbert dari Saran yang tidak berguna. Her genial solution was to advise players to refrain from social media when they were confronted with hate speech and toxic rhetoric. Bukankah itu luar biasa? Karina mengabaikan masalah selalu berasil, itu adalah jarakan yang sangat asing sehingga dapat berkembang menjadi meme. Players face misogyny and racism every day, and Engelbert says, apakah anda telah mencoba logging?
I did not come out of college with the same level of popularity, scrutiny, all of it. Nobody has. Caitlin is one of one. There's zero doubt.
Her racialized marketing blunders are not the only issues. Semua pendekatan leadership Engelbert telah dekritik Karina berfokus pada visual daripada substansi. Her obsession with rivalries might seem like a good idea at a marketing conference, but in the end, it turns complicated athletes into cheap stories. Selain itu, kerusakan meningkat saat cerita-cerita tersebut berlamba-lamba. Instead of emphasizing Clark and Reese as pioneers for the future of the league, Engelbert has turned them into emblematic of division, drawing attention away from their talent and toward unnecessary disagreement.
Caitlin continuing to impress and she's going to break records nonstop for the next couple years. Yeah. It's just going to be a constant record.
Tidak menguntungkan bahwa pendekatan ini memaku perselisihan pendapat. Sue Bird meningkatkan API dengan komentarnya tentang pendukung Caitlin yang berbahaya, menyatakan bahwa kehadiran lebih banyak pendukung baru memaku konflik dengan komunitas lama league. Bird's comments turned out to be disrespectful and alienating fans instead of celebrating the WNBA's growing popularity. Critics have pointed out that this fan toxicity story only makes disputes worse, making what should be a celebration yet another point of conflict.
They decided that they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
Dalam hal ini, WNBA telah lama dikenal sebagai Liga Progresif yang mendukung diversity, inklusi, dan suara pemain Naaman, strategi Engelbert merusak gambar tersebut lebih cepat daripada Liga dapat memperbaikinya. She is risking years of progress by using racial narratives, creating an environment that is as dangerous as it is counterproductive. Fans and players are asking whether the league's leadership truly adheres to its supposed principles. Hazel Akir, aside from being a poor PR, Engelbert's fixation on rivalries and superficial drama is also a betrayal of the WNBA's values, and if she doesn't turn her attention to what really matters, protecting players, encouraging camaraderie, and applauding talent, this so-called leadership could lead the league to a path that it might not recover from.